Good evening, my name is Srihari. I am doing internship at LEXIS and Company. I am studying at Presidency Bangalore. Today my topic is differentiation between culpable homicide and murder. One of the most interesting topic in IPC. Starting in the section of IPC, whereas after section 200 you can see the sections related to IPC and murder. What is culpable homicide? Whosoever causes death by doing an act with an intention of causing death likely to cause harm. Before going to the definitions of these both, we should know the essentials. Essential is one of the main criteria where we can say what constitutes a culpable homicide and murder. Culpable homicide, in that if you see the starting line of BAR Act, where it says that whosoever causes death by doing an act with an intention of causing death likely to cause harm. If you need to see these sections, so you can go for the BAR Act IPC, where if you see the section 299 of IPC, offense against human body, there you can see section culpable homicide and murder. If you talk about culpable homicide, whosoever causes death by doing an act with an intention of causing death likely to cause harm. Here the intention plays a major role. First part. Second part is that whosoever causes likely to harm with an intent causing death or harm. Harm is the second essential, because that the offender does not have any intention to kill the person. If you talk about section of murder, section 300 of IPC, where it states that if there is an intention to causing him likely to cause him death should happen in murder, then only we can say that it constitutes a murder. Whereas in culpable homicide, if it does not constitute to a murder but it causes to the harm, can be termed as a culpable homicide. For more clarification, we will take up a famous case under murder, that is Rag versus Govinda. You can search in the Google that the case of Rag versus Govinda, which was happened in the year 1876. This case was happened in Bombay High Court. So if you talk about the facts of the case, the prisoner was a young man who kicked his wife at wife was at age of 18 years, struck several times, fist on the back. This seemed to be caused no injury on her back, but however when she fell on ground, then the accused put knee on her chest and stamped simultaneously on her face, on her chest, and one of these blows took violent and it took the girl's left eye to a contusion injury without breaking skin. This skull was not fractured, but the blow which was happened to her encrustation brain, and the girl died in the consequence. That means that the blow which was happened due to the girl, that got a great damage in her blood in the brain, and the girl died in the consequence. So here in this case, the court had been differentiated by section 299 300 what is a culpable homicide, what is a murder. So coming to section 299, there are three essentials that the court said. One is that a culpable homicide is a person who commits a culpable homicide if an act is caused with done, first intention, second intention to likely cause harm, third with the knowledge that act is likely to cause him death. Whereas section 300 talk about intention of causing death, third intention of causing death in the offender knows to be likely to cause him death with a harm with no cost, third with an intention of causing bodily injury to any other person which is inflicted in sufficient ordinary course of action. In this case, the judge of further Melville, Meliville, this is a name, FURTHMELVILLE, stated that whether the offense is culpable homicide or murder depends upon the degree of risk of human life. Whether it result to death, it is a culpable homicide. If it's most properly result, it's a murder. Because all culpable homicide is not murder, all murder is not culpable homicide. So coming to my point, whenever we read the section of culpable homicide murder, we should think two things in our aspect. One is that whether there was an intention, third whether murder constitute to death, that whosoever causes death by doing an act with an intention of causing death likely to cause him harm with the knowledge that the intention of causing death. Whereas culpable homicide, if you talk about essential, intention is one, third whether it constitutes a death or whether it constitutes a harm. It can be grievous hurt, simple hurt. So before going to the aspect of the culpable homicide murder, we should think about these two things, whether there's a intention, second is that there's a death in murder, to see in culpable homicide where there's a harm. So these are two differences that we should consider in the culpable homicide murder. In this case also, the Honorable High Court had been further clarified that the violent in the blow in the eye from the man first when the person was struggling and lying in his head on the ground is certainly causing death, either by producing any contusion of blood on the surface and the substance of the brain. So at the last, the convicted of the culpable homicide sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment. This is the imprisonment which is given for the culpable homicide. That whatever time does the imprisonment given to him, whether it can be 7 years, 8 years, depends on the crime which the offender has been done. So this is the video which is relating to culpable homicide murder. If you have any queries, you can ask or you can post it in the comment box. I will reply soon. If you like, please share, subscribe. This video is only for the educational purpose. Thank you.